Hey there, welcome back to my kitchen. I hope you are all having a beautiful Sunday so far. Today I have some one-pot meals to share with you. I don't know about you, but I love one-pot meals, such easy cleanup, and also usually 9 times out of 10, one-pot meals have some really great flavor to them since everything is all cooked in one pan. I hope you enjoyed today's video, but let's go ahead and get started and I will show you what I made. Starting today off, we're making this cheesy sausage pasta. This is so easy and very tasty. So to begin, I am just chopping up half of a yellow onion along with 1 smoked sausage. I like to use the turkey sausage personally, but you can use any kind you like. I'm going to go ahead and cut that in half and then cut each of those all the way down the center to make 4 smaller, skinnier pieces, and then cut them all into half moons. Now moving over to my big pot on the stove, I'm just adding in a little bit of avocado oil in there and letting that get nice and hot. You will just want to cook your sausage and your onion in here until the onion is tender and the sausage has browned up a bit. Next, add in 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, give that a stir and let that cook for about a minute or so until you can smell the garlic nice and strong. Now you're going to go ahead and add in 2 cups of chicken broth along with half a cup of milk, 1 can of diced tomatoes, juices included, 8 ounces of dry pasta, I am using rotini, and then you'll just add in a little bit of salt and pepper to start with about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder. Go ahead and just use your utensil to scrape the bottom of your pan to make sure you pick up all the flavor from that sausage. Now I'm going to let this begin to boil. Give this one more good stir and then add the lid on here and just let this go, stirring every once in a while until your pasta has cooked all the way through and all of the liquid has disappeared from the pan. Next, you're just going to take some cheddar jack cheese. This is mild cheddar and Monterey Jack cheese, so if you can't find this bag, you can just use those 2 cheeses or even just use mild cheddar alone. And it's honestly up to you. You can add as much cheese in here as you want. I added about 3/4 of a cup, but you can add the entire bag if you want to. I added just a dash of some red pepper flakes in here for just a little kick, and then I got this mixed together, letting that cheese completely melt down. Here is what my finished plate of food looked like. I had my pasta on there, of course, and I made some garlic bread to go along with this, as well as some steamed broccoli. And like I said, if you do not use all that cheese mixing it in, you can top it with some more cheese if you'd like, but overall this meal is just very simple, has really great flavor from cooking that sausage in there. It just makes a great meal altogether. Next up, we're going to go ahead and make this ham and cheese tortellini. To begin with this one, I am just chopping up half of a yellow onion. And just so you know, if you do not like onion, go ahead and just skip the onion for all of these recipes. Then I'm also taking 2 smaller ham steaks and just going ahead and cubing those up. Over to my big pot on the stove, I'm going to add in a little bit of some avocado oil and just let that heat up. Then you'll add in the ham and the onion together and let that cook in this pan. Let the onion get nice and tender and let the ham brown up a bit. Next, add in about 2 teaspoons of garlic and just let that cook for about a minute or so until you can smell the garlic nice and strong. Next, you'll add in one 19-ounce bag of frozen tortellini. If you don't want to use tortellini, you could also use ravioli for this. You just have to be a little bit more careful with the ravioli when stirring. Then I'm adding in half a cup of heavy cream along with about a cup and a half of chicken broth. Now give this a really good mix together, making sure to scrape the bottom of the pan to pick up all that wonderful flavor. And you'll just let this go and let that tortellini cook for about 10 minutes. At this point, of course, you're going to see a lot of liquid in the pan. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch into a small bowl along with a little bit of liquid from the pan. Give that a good mix together, make sure all of the cornstarch has been broken up in there. Add this back into your tortellini and give it a good mix together, and you will notice this will thicken up pretty quickly. Once that sauce has thickened up, go ahead and add in about a half cup of shredded Parmesan cheese and 1 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. Give this one more mix, let that cheese melt down, and then it's ready to go. Feel free to add some salt and pepper in here if you want to, however, I did not think it needed it at all. That ham adds so much flavor in there, the ham is already salty, so I think it turned out fine without any seasonings. To finish it off, I just added some shredded Parmesan cheese over top of the pasta, and then on the side I made myself some Brussels sprouts. Last but not least, before it starts getting too hot here, I wanted to go ahead and make some ravioli soup. I had been wanting to make this for a couple weeks now, so today we are going to make this ravioli soup. And starting off, I am just going to chop up half of a yellow onion. And then over into my pan, I'm just adding that onion in there with 1 pound of ground beef. I use ground beef on this day, but let me tell you, if you make this soup with some Italian sausage, it is 10 times better. Once the ground beef was all the way cooked through, I added in about a tablespoon of minced garlic. I let that go for about 30 seconds to a minute until I could smell it nice and strong. And then I added in 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, 5 cups of beef broth, and then to season this up, I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of basil, about a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then just giving that a stir. Now at this point, I'm just going to let this come to a boil, and once it's boiling, you can go ahead and add in 1 bag of mini raviolis. These are mini raviolis, however, I think they end up being just about the same size as regular raviolis, so you could use regular ones if you want to. Let that ravioli cook in there for about 10 minutes or so, and then you can add in about a 1/2 cup to a cup of heavy whipping cream. Give this a good stir, let it warm up, and then it is ready to go. If you're like my husband and you like a thicker soup, if you want to, you could make a cornstarch slurry like I did it in the last recipe. Add that in here, let it simmer for a few minutes, and it'll thicken up a lot more. Normally I do thicken up my soup since my husband likes them thicker better. However, this time I left it as is because I just really was craving a soupy soup. To finish it off, I just topped mine off with some parsley, and I also added in a little bit of Parmesan cheese over the top. But this turned out really good and definitely hit the spot. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed these recipes and found something that looks good to you. Don't forget to leave me a flower down in the comments below if you did make it all the way to the end of this video, and I will see you back here next time. Bye!